Y'all know what time it is. Black bandana. One black martial artist. Yeah, it's time for ChickPicks. Oh yeah, it's the first edition of ChickPicks. This is my WNBA podcast. The first time I'm doing a WNBA podcast. Not the first time I've ever played WNBA though. As you might know, a few seasons before last, I took down a big WNBA tournament, $10,000. And I left and went to Paris for 5 months. Oh, with the WNBA money I won. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited about the WNBA season. First slate. The first couple slates are always my best slates. I feel like I got an edge over everybody else as I'm not a rookie. I'm not a newbie. This is what I do. I play WNBA and I'm, 3 seasons in now? Doing great. Been playing since the beginning. FanDuel, DraftKings. This is an interesting year because of the coronavirus pandemic. We're getting a late start, but on all sports. But furthermore, we've had a lot of key players opting out, especially for the Washington Mystics, who won the championship last year. Washington is going to be missing Elena Del Don. They're going to be missing Natasha Cloud. They traded Christy Tolliver, but that was with the expectation that they had Elena Del Don, they had Tina Charles, they had Natasha Cloud, Ariel Atkins. Now they're missing Elena Del Don. Tina Charles was going to be one of their big center acquisitions. This is a Washington team that has been depleted by players going elsewhere. I mean, LaToya Sanders left, but they had Tina Charles. They thought they were going to be just great. You know, now they're thin, especially when it comes to their forwards and their centers. Oh, man, they're going to be running like an 8-man rotation. They just don't have that much to work with down low. They did acquire... Did they acquire Essence Carson? I believe, or was that? Yeah, they did acquire Essence Carson, which Essence Carson is a hell of a player. But Washington is going to be, I don't know how they're going to do this year with no post presence. But I can say this, they're going to be key fantasy plays. They're going to score great fantasy points. And opponents are going to score great amounts of fantasy points against them. This is not the Washington team from last year. That was very good on offense, but was staunch on defense. This is that squad. They're going to score a lot of points and give up a lot of points. But hey, let's jump right into it. I'm just going to go through my key plays. At guard, I'm going to run through a lot of the girls that I'm extraordinarily interested in. Of course, the most popular of all the girls that is going to be on the slate is going to be Sabrina Ionescu. She is an absolute stud from the University of Oregon. Led the University of Oregon over Team USA. I did not stutter. The University of Oregon, #1 team in the nation, beat Team USA. Skylar Diggins, Diana Taurasi, Sylvia Fowles. I don't know if Tina Charles was on that team, but I know Nafisa Collier. Just the best women's basketball players in the world were on that squad, and Ionescu lit them up and led University of Oregon decisively over the all-time women's USA team. Very impressive performance. Ionescu is going to be highly owned, but she is about all that the New York Liberty have when it comes to, like, if you think about how do the Liberty beat Seattle, who is a staunch defensive squad, it's going to have to be with a great performance from Ionescu. They are extraordinarily weak down low. Seattle is not. I mean, the best player that New York has is Amanda Zahui B. Or Kia Stokes is viable as well. Kia Stokes is a hell of a player down low. But, I mean, Amanda Zahui B is one of their better players down low. Kia Stokes is going to be a key down low. That's not going to be able to compete with Breanna Stewart at forward. That's not going to be able to compete with Alicia Clark. I think she might be a small forward. And then that's not going to be able to compete with Natasha Howard. Like, New York should get cooked down low. Their guards are Kia Nurse, Clarendon, and Ionescu are going to have to be lights out. And even so, Seattle's defense is so good. I mean, I don't see how that necessarily works. WNBA guards, rookie guards, have notoriously had a hard time adjusting to the defenses. Ionescu is undoubtedly, there's no reason why Seattle can't double team her and put all the attention on her. It's not like when she was at Oregon and she had Satali. Oh my God, I'm thinking about this forward and I'm missing her name. But there was a hell of a forward they had. They had a hell of a squad full of first round draft picks. This is not that squad. The New York Liberty probably aren't as good as the University of Oregon. And that goes to show how great of a team Oregon is, actually. It's not the piss on the Liberty. But Ionescu, she could have a great game. If the Liberty stay in it, she'll have to be lights out with assists and everything like that. Pairing her maybe with Kia Nurse or we'll have to wait on the starting lineups. Clarendon will be a viable play. Also, Zowie B and Stokes. Other than that, I'm not interested in any of the Liberty. Ionescu, seeing as this game might blow out, I wonder if the Liberty leave her in because she's a young rookie guard. Do they let her play the whole game? She could put up a lot of points in garbage time. I really like her as a play. I like Stokes more on FanDuel. I'll get to that a little later when I get onto the FanDuel side. But Ionescu is my key play from here. I will be fading her in a good portion of my lineup, though, because this Seattle game has a great chance to blow out. Now, let's talk about the Seattle squad. My God. Seattle is a staunch defensive unit. Natasha Howard was up for league MVP last year. Breanna Stewart, Alicia Clark. Alicia Clark is a beast in the post. At guard, Jordan Canada is a hell of a defender. It would be better when Sabrina Ionescu faced Team USA. I believe Sue Bird was the point guard. It would be better if Jewel Lloyd or Jordan Canada was guarding Ionescu because Sue Bird already got cooked. All right. But anyway, defensively, this team is hell. Jordan Canada is a hell of a defender. I believe Jewel Lloyd is a hell of a defender. Had a down year offensively last year because of injuries. But let's discuss the viable options from this team. First of all, Sue Bird at 4,900. Whether she starts or not, she never has necessarily lit it up on DraftKings. But listen, she sat out last year. She's one of the very best WNBA players of all time. And if she goes up against the second unit, especially this New York Liberty second unit, she could cook them extraordinarily well. 4,900 is just too low for Sue Bird. I love Sue Bird as a play. My favorite play from the Storm is Breanna Stewart. When Breanna Stewart is in, she is the focal point of this offense. She gets rebounds. She shoots. She's got a three. She does everything post game. Anything you want to do, Breanna Stewart can do it. She's absolutely pivotal play. And also my third favorite play from this team is going to be Natasha Howard. There was a game year before last where both Breanna Stewart and Natasha Howard cooked the New York Liberty. That could repeat here, especially with no Tina Charles. I'm having a hard time seeing as how this game stays close. I like Breanna Stewart. I guess Stewart and Howard are interchangeable, but I figure if anybody has a big game, it should be Stewart. Howard could sneak in there too. I don't know if Howard has a big game and Stewart does not. Stewart is coming off a serious injury, but she's got it all, and I think she still will regardless. She is only 10,900. I don't know why Howard played last year. Breanna Stewart didn't. But usually, don't pay attention to the 38.5 or 6 fantasy points per game by Natasha Howard. When Breanna Stewart is who she is, and if she is who she I'm thinking she is. She is the focal point of this offense. It won't be Natasha Howard anymore. Although Natasha Howard will have her big games, probably hand in hand with Breanna Stewart. I don't know if Natasha Howard goes off with Breanna Stewart just because of how this offense works. I'm not very interested in Jordan Canada. Jewel Lloyd is intriguing, but with the other guards on this slate, I'm not extraordinarily interested in her. Although if she returns to form, she should be healthy. With all the time off she's had, she will have great games as well. People forget that Jewel Lloyd of last year was diminished by injuries. She is a hell of a player. I believe she was on my winning team that won me $10,000. Jewel Lloyd is the shit. Next game up, we got LA versus Phoenix. Oh, the one thing about the Seattle-New York game is that game might very well blow out. Seattle is so much better than New York. Their defense is so good. Their offense is so good. And New York is so bad. The best New York Liberty is going to have to show up. And I just don't think it's good enough to mess with Seattle. Amanda Zahui B, she's not going to be able to do anything against Natasha Howard, Alicia Clark, and Breanna Stewart. If I think Mercedes Russell will start at center a lot of times for Seattle. Last year, it was Mercedes Russell jumping in the starting lineup. I think we're going to have some of that this year. In that case, listen, Amanda Zahui B and snatching rebounds off of Russell, Clark, Breanna Stewart, or Howard. I don't know if they're going to use one or two guards where they're going to start Sue Bird and Jordan Canada. But I'm thinking because of the size that New York doesn't have, they'll probably go big here. And we'll see Howard, Stewart, Russell, Clark, and then a guard to start off the game. And that's going to be bad news for New York. They should get wasted. It's just a matter of who. Natasha Howard and Breanna Stewart are my favorite plays. Sue Bird or Jordan Canada, whoever the guard that gets to start should have plenty of burn. But Sue Bird is the one I like the best because her points per dollar value. But this game could blow out. Be aware of that. I'm fading this game in a lot of lineups. If I have Ionescu, though, I'm going to have Breanna Stewart and Natasha Howard. Like, I'm going to make sure I have parts of it, because there's just not a lot of players that the Liberty are going to be able to lean on to guide them to victory over Seattle. Zahui B, Ionescu, Kia Nurse, they're going to have great games in order to hang in there. I just don't know if they do. So, I like that game. I like Breanna Stewart, but I'm fading it because there's a great chance it could blow out. Be aware of that. Next game up, we got LA versus Phoenix. Who are my favorite plays from this game? At guard, I like Raquana Williams better on FanDuel. She's one of my favorite plays over there. Chelsea Gray is viable. I'm not saying she's not. She's a hell of a player. But there are guards that are much cheaper at that can do just the same thing or will put up around the same amount of points as she does in this offense that she's sharing with Nneka Ogwumike and Candace Parker. If either one of those were out, maybe I'd have more interest. Who I am very interested in is Nneka Ogwumike and Candace Parker. These girls put up numbers. They do well. Now, I should probably also be interested in Gray because her usage and her whole, production shouldn't be too much lower than Ogwumike or Parker. To throw it in there, too, Raquana Williams is a hell of a play. It's just that there's a couple guards I'm going to get to here in a second. Well, Sue Bird is cheaper, there's Victoria Vivians is cheaper. I'm going to get to some girls that's cheaper. But Raquana Williams is an awesome play. And she usually will close out games, too. So, those are the 4 plays I like from there. I like Parker and Ogwumike best because the formula historically for winning tournaments is cheap guards and kind of expensive forwards. I remember when I took down my tournament, my guards were a rookie Ariel Atkins and a Shavonte Zealous. So, there's your formula right there. Shavonte Zealous was playing with the Liberty. I looked at her game log. She was pretty cheap for the game. Ariel Atkins was pretty cheap. She was a rookie. She was like in the 5,000s. And then I had some good forward play. So that's usually the formula. I don't know if Chelsea agree. She doesn't quite fit in that. She's a bit expensive. There are, at this point, first game of the season, there's so many cheap guards. I'm not heavy on her. Plus, Parker and Agumke are a big part of their offense, so I don't see the clear upside, especially with Skylar Diggins and Diana Taurasi. They're going to be on defense against her sometimes, and that should be a pretty tough matchup. Not that she can't hang. On the Phoenix side, who do I like? I like at guard. I like Skylar Diggins Smith at $6,500. That's ridiculous. Skylar Diggins Smith would get up to 11,000. She would get up to like just crazy amounts of salary last year. She's $6,500. I know she's sharing the floor with Diana Taurasi, but we'll probably see times where Taurasi's on the court, Diggins is not. Diggins is on the court, Taurasi is not. But they got that big old chick named Brittany Griner down there at 11,100. I like Griner. This is gonna be a dangerous offense. A lot of times people try and double up Griner. The only bad thing about Griner is she gets lazy. She's a lazy girl a lot of times, and she lacks motivation. She doesn't want to be mean. She punched somebody in the head last year. I want to see that Griner. I want to see head punching Griner. I don't want to see nice Griner no more. She punched that girl in the head. That's the Griner that needs to be in the game all the time. Somebody needs to rough her up or get her fired her. But she's kind of like a more. If Hassan Whiteside was a bit more dominant in the NBA, Hassan Whiteside has all the talent in the world, but it's just, sometimes he'll show up, sometimes he doesn't. Griner's a lot like that. She's very highly priced, and LA, it ain't no punks down low. So I'm not. I like Griner, but I like Stewart. I like Howard. There's a lot of girls I like. Tierra McCowan. There's a lot of girls I like better in her price range because they work harder and they have better matchups. From a standpoint of the value on Phoenix, I like Nia Coffey. Nia Coffey is a very underrated player. She's a very underrated player. If you get down to that price range, she'd be a great play. Brianna Turner played her ass off last year. She is a definite girl you want to consider, but with Diggins, Taurasi, and Griner, how much offensive usage is Turner going to get? Man, she could be the forgotten about piece. So I like Brianna Turner. Brianna Turner is a better play than Coffey, but not better points per dollar, because Coffey could wind up getting the start. And she can ball. So I like her. That's what I like from Phoenix. So that's pretty much LA versus Phoenix. That game should stay pretty close. Who knows? So it could blow out, but I doubt it. They usually play each other pretty close. Now on to one of the most key games of the slate. Indiana versus Washington. Man, Washington isn't going to stop anybody from scoring. They do have some great scores, though. Leilani Mitchell is coming over from Phoenix. And when she was the focal point of that offense, she did very well. The difference between there and here is that a lot of her points are based off her three-point shooting. If that three-pointer is falling or not. She doesn't necessarily have what she had in Phoenix. In Phoenix, she was playing with DeWanna Bonner, who is like positionless basketball. She can get down low. She can take you outside. DeWanna Bonner is huge. She's like, how big is DeWanna Bonner? DeWanna Bonner is like at least 6'2", I think. DeWanna Bonner is a monster, and she can do it all. But just straight positionless basketball, like maybe like a value version of Giannis Antetokounmpo in the NBA, just can do it all. It can get down low and go with the bigs, can go outside and got range. She's not with Leilani Mitchell. Brittany Griner's not with Leilani Mitchell. Diana Taurasi isn't there. This isn't the Phoenix Mercury. So as far as the assist and the points that Mitchell was in a much more potent offense last year. She doesn't have Elena Del Don with her. She doesn't have, oh my God, she doesn't have a lot of avenues to get assists. She's going to be highly dependent on her three-point shooting. And then when it comes down to like the players that she'll be serving, she does have Emma Meesman. Now, Meesman is one of my favorite plays on the slate because she should absolutely cook. Without Elena Del Don, without Natasha Cloud, she will be the focal point of this offense. And Indiana is such an ineffective offense that they're going to stay in this game. And Meesman is going to be leaned on a lot. So I like Mitchell, but she's a little expensive. Who I really like is Meesman. She's a bit expensive at $12,000, but out of everybody in that range, she has the best chance to meet value and destroy it. Meesman is actually absolutely a smash play over on FanDuel. On DraftKings, you could leave her out, but with all the value at guard and that's around, you have no reason that you have to. There's no reason that you can fit Meesman in, and I figured that if I can get her in, I'm trying to fit her in. There's no reason that I don't want Meesman. So Mitchell is a nice play. My second favorite play under Meesman from the Mystics is Ariel Powers. Ariel Powers will be sharing point guard duties with Leilani Mitchell. She would traditionally be a small forward or a power forward. She can go down low. She can slash to the basket. Ariel Powers can do it all. And when Elena Del Don did not play last year, Ariel Powers had awesome performances. I love Ariel Powers. Leilani Mitchell is like my third favorite play on the Mystics. Ariel Atkins, I like her better on FanDuel. She's a better value. She can meet value, but if I have to choose between Atkins, Taurasi, or Diggins Smith, I'm going with Taurasi or Diggins Smith. Also, Ionescu is in this range, and Atkins can get it going, but she's kind of a roller coaster ride of offensive production. She's here and there. She doesn't have to play in the shadows of Natasha Cloud or Christy Tolliver anymore. So she's going to have her moments where she scores big. But for offensive productivity, I like Leilani Mitchell a little better. But the cheaper guards, I like the cheaper guards. And Atkins and Mitchell are a little expensive this week. So I love me. Powers is my second favorite play. And then let's talk about some kind of some sleepers. Tiana Hawkins is going to get a lot of burn. This is not an extraordinarily great matchup down low for Hawkins. She will be if she starts, it would be better if she came off the bench. Then she won't have to deal with the rebounding ability of Tierra McCowan. If she comes off the bench, she's got a jumper, she's got a three, she's got it all. She's got a complete game, and she is going to get slept on. She could have an awesome game. She's part of a small rotation for the Mystics. And then my biggest sleeper is Myisha Hines-Allen. She very well could get the nod as the starting center when LaToya Sanders and other people were out, especially the season before or last. Myisha Hines-Allen used to come in and used to get it. This is kind of a tough matchup, but Myisha Hines-Allen can put up the fantasy points. There are some value plays that I like a little better, but Maisha Hines-Allen is absolutely a viable play. More viable on FanDuel, especially if she starts. It would be better almost if she came off the bench. Depending on if she or Tiana Hawkins starts, I might like the person coming off the bench better. Because if Maisha Hines-Allen gets the minutes like she did her rookie year, she was an absolute smash value at $3,000. That season before last. Last season, she didn't get as much burn because the Mystics had better depth. But Maisha Hines-Allen is an absolute beast. And I will be looking to roster her depending on what the starting Allen lineups look like. On the Indiana side, I think this game is going to stay close. There's no Del Don. There's no Tina Charles. It should be a pretty close game. Tiara McCowan is going to smash. She's going to smash. She's good. There's nobody that's stopping her from Washington. She was the top rebounder, offensive rebounder, defensive rebounder in the league last year. She gets to the line. When she first started her first couple games, she had foul trouble. McCowan is absolutely a beast now, though. And somebody that I like me some and Brianna Stewart better because her ceilings are better. But, man, I want me some Tiara McCowan for sure. I want her in almost every lineup that I can get her in. She is a beast and some change. McCowan all day. She's a better points per dollar play, arguably, than Meesman. You know, depending on how that game turns out. She's one of the best points per dollar plays on the slate. Arguably, the best person at the forward spot. She's better than Candace Parker and Ogwumike. I think she's a better play than Griner. The only people I'm playing over her at forward are Stewart and Meesman. That's it. That's all I can think of. McCowan is my absolute favorite play from Indiana. My second favorite play is Victoria Vivens. She is listed as a point guard on DraftKings, but she's kind of more of a power forward, small forward. I don't know. She's 6'1" or 6'2". She gets rebounds. She puts up points. $5,200 is absolutely too cheap for her, especially in an offense that's missing Erica Wheeler, that's missing Lauren Cox. Victoria Vivens should start, and she missed last year. People are going to be sleeping on her. She should put up great points. Now, seeing that Wheeler is going to be out, the Indiana guards are always kind of a mystery. It could be Kelsey Mitchell. It could be Tiffany Mitchell. It could be Erica Wheeler. Last year, it was mostly Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell. This year, since Wheeler is now in COVID, she's out with the COVID for now. She did have it. Kelsey Mitchell and Tiffany Mitchell are the best bets to light it up. And without Wheeler, it's usually going to be one of the two of those. We also have Kathleen Doyle, though. That's a great value play. It's looking like she might could get the start alongside Mitchell. Because Indiana usually runs 2 point guards starting. So Kathleen Doyle is a very viable play. But either one of her, Kelsey Mitchell, Tiffany Mitchell, or Doyle, is going to probably do pretty well. Hard to pinpoint. You'll just have to kind of figure it out in your lineups. I'm not big on Candace Dupree. Although against this squad, she could have a great game. Who's going to stop her necessarily? She's a little older, a little bit on the decline, but she could draw the defense of Aerial Powers. That could be the matchup there. But if it's like Maisha Hines-Allen is a decent defender, Tiana Hawkins might be able to hold her own against her. Candace Dupree could put up the points. A little expensive for my taste. I'd rather go up to like McCowan and the big shots at forward. I want big ballers in my forward spots. Chanwa could have a great game, but I don't think she'll be starting, so I'm not too interested in her. So Vivens, Doyle, McCowan, Tiffany Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell are my plays from Indiana. those are the people that are most viable. If I would go through my favorite value plays, let's go under $6,000. I have to say that actually Victoria Vivian's is one of my favorites. Oh, Diggins Smith and Skylar Diggins Smith and Taurasi are absolutely underpriced, ridiculous. They are smash value plays, which I don't know if I ever thought I would say that, but I am. So Diana Taurasi is a smash value play. Sue Bird is a wonderful value play on this slate. Don't forget about Sue Bird. Whether she comes off the bench or starts or not, she's a wonderful value play. Kathleen Doyle is very viable. And Aerial Powers, too cheap for what she's going to be doing. She's too cheap here. So those are, well, that's not under $6,000. I said I was going to stay under $6,000. Powers feels like a value for what she brings to the table. Are there any other viable values? Maisha Hines-Allen could be a significant value play there. I doubt it, but she could sneak in there. But those are my value plays on the slate. So those are the girls that I think are way underpriced. Even though Taurasi and Diggins Smith are over $6,000, they get up around $9,000 usually. Jump all over that immediately. That's going to do it for ChickPicks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back here and there doing ChickPicks. I'm going to have premium content over at NegroJitsu.com coming up soon. For now, it's free. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Head over to NegroJitsu.com. You can stay updated from there, or check me out on Twitter at Black Negro Jitsu. Okay? At Black Negro Jitsu. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Let's go ahead and head over to the FanDuel side of things now. A little different pricing on FanDuel. All the same commentary. But let's go through the key plays on this slate. Skylar Diggins Smith isn't a value at all. She's more accurately priced. Neither is Diana Taurasi. I'm still interested in Sabrina Ionescu, even though she's at the top of the price range here. Whereas on DraftKings, she's more of a mid-range play. I'm still interested in her, and I still have great interest in her. She's might be a little tinge too cheap at that price. Her ownership is going to absolutely be on fleek. Sue Bird isn't the value nor the quality play she is on DraftKings. Leilani Mitchell looks a bit too cheap over here. So does Kelsey Mitchell from Indiana. And also, because remember, these cheap guards, Tiffany Mitchell is a wank too cheap. And the biggest value in this on the whole guard slate of FanDuel, Ariel Atkins is an excellent value play. Let me get down here to this in these 4,000s here. Let me get down here. But Ariel Atkins is absolutely a super value at 4,700. Raquana Williams at 4,600. Way too cheap for what she can do. She puts up 20, 30 fantasy points every game for sure. And you gotta like Victoria Vivian's. That's my favorite value from over there. Lanisha Clarendon could also end up being an extraordinary value play over here on FanDuel. Those are my favorite guards here. Remember, value guards, and then we want to spend on our forwards. That's how we do it in the WNBA, because forwards usually are the best core. Also, Kathleen Doyle at 4,200. Not forgetting about her. But over here, Emma Meesman is a lock and load at 6,700. She's way too cheap. She's way too cheap. Tierra McCown is an absolutely smash play. Of course, Brianna Stewart and Natasha Howard are great plays. Brianna Stewart is very expensive over here, and that Liberty game has a great chance to blow out. Nneka Ogwumike and Candace Parker could be said to be underpriced at $74,000 and $7,000 respectively. Brittany Griner is not underpriced. Relevant, but there's some people I like better. The absolute smash value over here on FanDuel at Ford, though, is Ariel Powers. Ariel Powers at $4,800 is ridiculous. Another ridiculous play, depending on if she starts or not. If she starts, Kia Stokes at $3,800 is absolutely a smash value play. She should be able to eat that up all day. She's an absolute smash value at that price. I don't like too much else here in the Ford range. Lauren Cox will not be playing. Tiana Hawkins could sneak up on people at $4,400. Keep an eye on her. But, yeah, those are my key FanDuel plays. A little bit different than on DraftKings. The values and the guys that you really got to get in. Ariel Powers almost got to lock her in. Yeah, a little different. But FanDuel side of things is it's about the same commentary, I'll say. I don't have to change the game commentary, just had to change up the prices. So yeah, we'll catch you over at NegroJitsu.com. A lot of WNBA content. Go check it out. Or check me out at Black Negro Jitsu on Twitter. I'm over there as well. I will catch you guys later.